therefore your information may not be on file with the IRS. Therefore, the IRS would have to send them a check. The best way to do it is to go to irs.gov, click on the non-filer portal, fill out the information, and then that way it can expedite the processing of their stimulus check, and it will be processed to the punch if the fraudsters feel their identity and try to do that before they were to.
So the way this works is that the fraudsters are able to take advantage of people who make less money and obviously need the money that they would get from a stimulus check by circumventing the IRS system. The IRS doesn't have any information about these people in their system, so a fraudster would associate a bank account with their name, thus stealing their money.
That is quite possible, and exactly. And the IRS may have information on them that may not be current, so the best thing to do is go to irs.gov, find the non-filers portal, follow the instructions. It's pretty straightforward to my knowledge. It's just basic PII information, name, address, social security number.
I have another question for you quickly.
Account information, you would want your routing and account number.
Dave.
Enter that in. That way you do it and get your money more efficiently.
Thank you, Dave. Stick with us during the break. We're going to have more questions from you. Just keep tuning in, guys. We're going to be on Facebook Live throughout the entire show. Now, a lot of you have reached out and asked us, why didn't the amount that I got actually represent what I thought that I was going to get? And so here's what the IRS told us. They said that everyone who gets a payment, they will receive a notice within 15 days of that direct deposit payment hitting their account or the check getting to their home. They'll have an opportunity from the IRS to actually have a conversation about what those changes need to be. Now, this isn't in all cases, but the letter should explain why the amount you got didn't make sense to what you thought you would get. Does that make sense? Let us know in the comments.
All right, good work, Adian. Next question, how about U.S. military veterans who didn't file a tax return for 2018 or 2019? Many of them get benefit payments through the VA, but how will the IRS know to actually get them a check? So the VA has actually announced it's working directly with the IRS to make sure those veterans can get a stimulus check without having to do anything. But for any of those veterans who have a dependent and didn't file a tax return for the past 2 years, there is something you do need to do, and quick. All right, go to irs.gov and look for the non-filer Enter Payment Info Here tool. Filling that in is the key. That information, filling that in is the key to getting that $500 per dependent payment in addition to the $1,200 you'll get as an individual. All right, now speaking of the VA, it's a story that I've been following closely for the past 2.5 weeks, and today I've got to tell you about a big spike in coronavirus cases at the Martinsburg, West Virginia VA Medical Center. There are 21 people, 14 employees, and 7 veterans at that facility who have now tested positive for COVID-19. This is according to an email sent out to the entire staff today. Those 21 people at the Martinsburg VA account for roughly 20% of all the coronavirus cases in Berkeley County, West Virginia. Also, you need to know about this, the next question that people are asking. On Twitter, folks are saying they've gotten checks, these stimulus checks, for their loved ones who have passed away. So they want to know, all right, first of all, why is that happening? And second, are they allowed to keep those checks? So it turns out there's no definitive answer on this yet. The IRS is telling us that they are aware of the issue, but an IRS official tells me that they are still figuring it all out. So we don't know exactly what's supposed to happen to that money yet. Ariane?
Adam, you know we're going to keep getting people questions. Coming up, Virginia Senator Mark Warner answers even more questions. Plus, we're going to chat with D.C. Council member Phil Mendelson live.
Of course, we're going to be live on Facebook as well as we head into break. Plus, we want to let you know about this. If you're having issues with the IRS website, you're certainly not alone at this point. I'm going to walk you through specifically how you can use that website to find out the status of your stimulus check. First, though, let's talk about this. A lot of people have received their stimulus checks, and the money's helping. Tina tweeted out yesterday that she had to take time choosing which bills were most important. She filled up her gas tank and then put away some rent money in her savings so her daughters will have a roof over their heads. That's what this check is for. Helping Americans when they need it most. All right, the Q&A coming right back in just 3 minutes. Keep it right here on WUSA 9. If you're watching us there on Facebook right now, please feel free to keep
You
those
can take
questions
yourself
coming
off of
in.
mute,
We're able to
Dave.
keep a log of them, even if we can't answer them on the air during the
Thank
show.
you.
We can definitely
You're
go
welcome.
into the Facebook
Thanks for
comments
bearing with
and
me,
answer them.
dude.
Matter of fact, I could probably pull up Facebook
This whole process is
right
so
now
crazy.
on my computer.
Hey, Katrina, are we still on Facebook Live?
Okay.
Okay, so we're on YouTube
Breaking
right now,
news.
Dave.
We're having
wanna
some
talk to
issues
you
with our
about
Facebook
something that we
feed,
talked
but we're
about
live
earlier
on
today,
YouTube
and
right
that
now,
was
so you can check us out
H&R
there.
Block
All right, I've got to
and
call this rundown back up.
tax preparation services. Some people are saying that if they filed with H&R Block, they haven't received a stimulus check. Why might something like that happen?
Well, in cases of H&R Block or other file preparation services, they give you the opportunity to pay for the service via a pass-through bank. And what that means is you don't pay H&R Block at the time they prepare your return.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is, if you're due, say, a $100 refund, and the tax preparation fees are, let's just say, $50, hypothetically speaking, they would file your return, and the money would first go through a pass-through bank. That bank would take the $50, give it to H&R Block, and take the other $50 and send it through to the taxpayer's bank account. And from what I understand is happening, at least preliminarily, in situations like that, unfortunately, I believe the IRS is erroneously putting the monies in the pass-through account as opposed to the taxpayer's account. Now, it's also my understanding, through doing a little bit of research and looking at online, that I believe they're aware of this, and I'm sure they've taken steps to rectify the problem.
Oh, perfect. I actually just realized that I'm going to get all sorts of notifications throughout the show on your head. That's totally fine. I'm going to switch back to my other player. So we'll answer more questions during the next commercial break. Cool beans?
Yeah.
Cool beans.
You want me to mute?
Yes, please. And then living room.
All right, some great perspective that we're getting right there from Adian and from our tax expert. Adian, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you, Adam. Hey.
Yeah, so the dialogue continues. It sounds like a lot of people have just a lot of good questions. And just for some perspective, when I talked to the IRS just about an hour and a half ago, I talked to an IRS spokesperson who was in Seattle, and they said that they've fielded a ton of questions, some that they can answer at this point, some that they can't. So they are still working this and trying to get figured things out as they go. A lot of you have asked us how to check on the status of your stimulus check. So the IRS has a new site up and running now. It's irs.gov/coronavirus/get-my-payment. Here's how it works. Click on the button that says Get My Payment. That'll take you to a page where you fill in your social security number, your date of birth, and your address. After that, there's a few possible messages you can get. If all goes well, it's going to give you your payment status and type. Or it might tell you that the IRS needs more information, like your bank account and routing number. Or there are a couple error messages you can get. Maybe you put in the wrong information, so you can try again. But if you try too many times, you'll get locked out for 24 hours, so watch out. Or it also might tell you your status isn't available. That one is common, and it can mean a few different things. You're required to file a 2018 or 2019 tax return. Your 2019 return is still processing. If you're an SSA or RRB Form 1099 recipient, SSI or VA benefit recipient, the IRS says it is working with your agency. Or the website might tell you you're not eligible for a payment. Those guidelines are up on the frequently asked questions page. The website is updated once a day, so if you're not seeing what you should, keep checking back in. And while you can't reach out directly to the IRS with questions right now, they've got a ton of information if you click the link on the bottom of that main page. And something else when it comes to that website, I spent about 15 minutes on the phone with an IRS spokesperson about an hour and a half ago. All right, so if you did file taxes the past 2 years, but you owed the IRS money, yeah, they don't have your banking information. Also, if you got a refund but requested a check instead of direct deposit, yeah, again, they don't have your banking information. You want that stimulus money quick, right? So it's going to go quicker if the IRS has your banking information. So go to that site we just talked about, click on Get My Payment, and there you can input your bank account information to speed up this whole process. Ariane?
Adam, just a reminder to everyone out there, we are live on Facebook and YouTube right now. Earlier in the show, we had some hiccups with Facebook, but I want to give a shout out to Lisa Matling, who wants to know how long does it take to get the money after you do the non-filers information. We'll address that in one of the commercial breaks that we have, but in just a few minutes, we're also going to speak to DC Council member Phil Mendelson. But first, to get a better idea of what's happening in Virginia, I connected with Senator Mark Warner. Congress wasn't necessarily aware that the stimulus checks could be garnished from people because they had private debts. Can you talk about what you knew and how you plan to address this issue in Virginia?
The only way you could have any garnishment would be if you had not paid your child support or you not paid your student debt. Everything else you were free and clear of. There was some question whether someone who was coming after you could go to court and get a separate court order. I've not heard any of that taking place. If there are people in Virginia who've had these payments garnished for anything other than child support or student debt, they should contact my office.
Can we talk about future legislation? What's the plan for Stimulus Part 4? And does it include more direct payments to the constituents?
I think it's an open question at this point. Will there be additional direct checks, or will we simply try to increase some of these existing programs? What we're looking at now is, can we do something short term, like next week, to replenish the small business support program? It's called the PPP program. And our goal there is to, yes, I want to put more money in that program, but I want to make sure that those really small businesses, the barber shop, the beauty salon, let's make sure that the folks who are most in need get some of these additional monies.
In terms of creating this fund for immigrants who otherwise would not receive any sort of stimulus money, but are quite possibly the most in need of the money. And so what are we doing in Virginia to combat that sort of issue?
So many of our traditional programs have totally excluded folks that are not citizens, and these DACA kids, while they may have some protections, they don't fully qualify in terms of citizenship. I think these DACA kids should be able to get this relief. So many of these folks are working in our healthcare workforce right now, doing some of the toughest jobs around. It would be stupidity on steroids if suddenly we were trying to send those people back or fire them or disconnect them from their employment.
All right, so we're in our commercial break now, so we can loosen up the coats a little bit. So many questions out there, and Ariane, I know you've been getting into this all day, fielding questions from our viewers and taking those questions to experts. And I understand that you have DC Council Chair Phil Mendelson with you right now.
He is with me right now, DC Council Member Phil Mendelson. You were the spearheader of making sure that DC constituents didn't have any garnishments when it came to the stimulus checks. This was not a provision in Maryland and Virginia. Why did you do that in DC, and how did you go about efforting that?
Well, one of the concerns that we've had is to ensure that consumers are protected. And so the restrictions that we put in place for the duration of the emergency and for a short period after that are intended to protect consumers. You know, a lot of folks right now are risking debt or going into debt, and restrictions on debt collection, including garnishment of wages, I think is an important protection on a temporary basis. That's why we did it.
Well, then I also want to talk to you about how the stimulus plan right now is in place for about 90 to 100 days. That's how long they think that the money is going to last. Well, what happens with rent right now that doesn't have to be paid, that in 90 or 100 days, people are going to have to pay up?
Well, we did not adopt a rent moratorium, so rent does have to be paid.
Okay.
However, many renters will not be able to pay their rent or their full rent. So we have a prohibition on evictions during the emergency and for a short period of time thereafter.
Perfect. Hey,
provision to help renters, both commercial and residential. If the landlord goes to their bank or lender to get a mortgage deferment, that has to be passed to the tenants on a proportional basis. All of this is meant to help everybody with regard to the financial hardship.
Thank you. Okay, Katrina, I need to talk to you for a second.
So many people are using their stimulus money for good right now, and we want to shout out to them. This is Nick from Ashburn, Virginia. He saw so many people around him struggling, suffering, losing their jobs, and he wanted to help them out. So he asked friends for complete strangers' Cash App information and sent out his stimulus money to 5 random people. He found out later that one of those payments would be just what one woman needed to make rent this month. So Nick, big shout out to you, brother.
I'm here in DC with Councilmember Phil Mendelson to get answers to more of your questions. Phil, thank you so much for joining us today. Earlier in the show, I talked to Representative Sarah Baines about how Maryland didn't have a provision in place that stopped garnishments from happening to their constituents when it came to receiving the stimulus check. You, however, spearheaded in DC an initiative that made sure that wasn't the case. Can you talk to me about what those protections actually allow in DC or don't allow?
Well, we recognize that during this public health emergency that there are a lot of hardships on individuals, businesses, everybody. Everybody is risking or struggling with debt.
Right.
And so one of the provisions that we adopted in our legislation, consumers, was limitations on debt collection. So cars can't be repossessed, there can't be the threatening phone calls, there can't be threats to go to court, there can't be the garnishment of wages. These are all meant to, for a temporary period of time, help consumers to get through this very stressful period.
So I want to talk about stimulus number 4, everything that people are planning right now. What will be in it for DC if you had your withers about it?
Well, first of all, the district needs to be treated like the states, but we have more instances of coronavirus than, I believe, 20 states. Certainly costs that we're shouldering as the core of the region. Employment goes to workers whether they live in the district or not, but as long as they work in the district.
Right.
And so we should pay minimum funding as the states, which is $1.25 billion.
Small businesses have really gotten the short end of the stick because their funding has been cut for many of the programs because the funding has run out. So I'm going to keep you through commercial breaks so we can talk to you. If you have more questions and you're on Facebook right now, shoot them our way for Councilmember Phil Mendelson. Stick with us and we'll answer those questions. Hey guys, we are here with DC Councilmember Phil Mendelson. We are on YouTube and Facebook Live, sir. There's a lot of back and forth. Just to give you full transparency, we're on television, and then during commercial breaks, we do YouTube, Facebook Live, interstitials. We're on throughout the entire thing, but we get to answer even more questions. So what we were just touching on was Stimulus 4, and that DC needs to be represented as a state in Stimulus 4. Phil Mendelson. Oh, Councilmember Mendelson, do you mind unmuting yourself again?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi. So let's pick up the conversation that we were having just a second ago about small businesses. In DC, small businesses were already in a pretty vulnerable position for some of them. They were being pushed out due to gentrification. I've done a lot of stories about that. And now the resources that they had access to, these small business associations, that money in 2 cases has run out. What are we going to do to make sure that the most vulnerable actually get the funding they need?
Well, we had a micro grant program, as you just said, the money ran out. We are looking at whether we can do some additional tax relief. I can't promise that at the moment. We are stretched, but that continues to be something that is on the table for consideration. We're looking at whether we can provide some regulatory relief so that any expense associated with various regulatory requirements is reduced.
What do you mean by that? With the regulatory requirements, specifically, what do you mean?
Well, for instance, there might be some permitting that can happen more quickly. Some permitting that could be done online rather than in person. It really depends. But for instance, the other day I was talking with some healthcare providers where they could get more personnel to meet some of the regulatory requirements for getting licenses.
Okay. Now we are going to pick back up on television in just about 20 seconds. Do I need to switch back to my regular boxes, or can he still be here? Hello. If I don't... Okay. I really hope that we got to your questions tonight. You can find all of these answers on our website, WUSA9. And of course, if you still have more, send them to us. Adam's here with me.
Yeah, that's right. You can also send the word, just text the word check to the number that's right there on your screen, 202-895-5599. We'll send links directly to your phone. Also, irs.gov is a wealth of information on that site as well. I know a lot of you are desperate to get these checks, but do not fall prey to anyone trying to get your personal information. Be wary of anyone except for the IRS website asking for that information. You could find yourself in more harm than you're right now.
Adam, thank you. And everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your questions. I'm Adiane Daytil.
I'm Adam Longo. For all of us here at the Q&A, we hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you right back here with Bruce Johnson on Monday.
Hello, Adam.
So, Adiane, I think we handled...
Can you hear me?
Hey, I think we handled a lot of information there. Yeah, I can hear you all right.
I hope so. I know there's still so much more to tackle, so I still have Councilmember Phil Mendelson here. I still have our tax expert here. Flip the coin. Want to go back to tax for a second? Let's go.
Let's do that. I don't have anyone to talk to except the lights here on my patio, so why don't you do that?
I'm going to bring that up on my computer right over here. And you guys get a preview to how we make this television thing happen at home. I live stream people on my TV. Adam, what's your setup over there looking like?
You know what? I can actually show you. Check this out. I'm on my patio.
Oh,
this is my home in Clarksburg, Maryland. And
hold on. I'm going to switch over my
so
view
you can
so I
see
can
what's
see
going
you.
on here. So basically, I've zoomed all the way out. So I've got this whole light set up here. I've got two computers over here,
cool.
one of which is nothing more than a paperweight right now. It was supposed to beam me images of the show, and then literally right behind the camera, I have an iPad that's operating as a teleprompter, just to let me know, the words that we should be sharing with you for the show. I don't have anyone to talk to. You have cool people to talk to the whole time, which makes it a little more depressing for me because we're not only socially distancing.
But here's the thing, Adam.
isolated
You have
out
all
here.
sorts of children that I have seen running around in the back of your shot that give you plenty of people to talk about talk to throughout the day. Meanwhile, I'm here a little bit of a loner.
Frankly, I was shocked that none of them actually stepped out onto the deck here to throw a tantrum. I was fully expecting that to happen, but my wife has bribed them with goodies and a movie, so they've kept away for this part of the night, which is good.
Okay, well, we're going to jump into the conversation that we were having earlier with Dave Julin from LexisNexis Risk Solutions, or Strategies, is it? Dave, can you talk to me about some of the other tax-related issues that we didn't get to cover as it concerns stimulus checks and how people are struggling to get their money?
Well, one thing we talked about earlier was, so let's say, for example, you may be married, but you're separated from your spouse.
Yes.
And one spouse is alleging that the other spouse, quote unquote, stole the child refund.
That's a big one.
$500.
Hold on, Dave. That is a question that came up a lot. This is if you had a change in marital status from 2018 to 2019, it might not have been a legal marital status. So you were married before, you're separated now, which means that maybe you don't have a divorce decree. That's what you were telling me about. What are the legal issues here that really prevent some people from getting their money? That's number one. And two, how can they try to get that money back?
Well, the basis of these stimulus checks in regards to the income tax is it's all based on either your 2019 federal income tax return, and if that's not filed, it's then based on the 2018 return. Mm-hmm. So depending on how those returns are filed in terms of the filing status, married filing jointly, married filing separately, and the dependents attached to the return, that is what drives the stimulus payment in terms of the amounts, who gets it, and how much they get based on the adjusted gross income.
Okay, I am pulling up our Facebook Live here. Adam, did you hear all of that? Oh, Adam is no longer with us. Just kidding. I mean, he's alive, but he is not here. I want to give a shout out to some of the people that are watching us on Facebook right now. Kim Robertson Watson. We have Rochelle Moore. She asked this question: who is eligible and when will the disability people get a stimulus check? This is something that I can speak to, especially with disability SSI. Those people, their checks are going to be mailed out at the beginning of May. That is what I just heard from the IRS just a few days ago. You heard the same thing?
I believe so, yeah. The best thing to do is check the irs.gov website, their FAQs.
Yes.
I looked earlier today. They had 33 questions. One of the questions does address that issue that young lady had.
And then in terms of eligibility, I don't know that we have the graphic that we can show you right now, but from the very beginning of this, if you were a single filer and you made $75,000 or less, then you would be eligible for $1,200. Then there's a joint filing number that I cannot remember off the top of my head. If you are married and filing, we can post that information. I know all of it is on our website. Our Verify team has done some great work around that. Actually, if somebody from the digital team is watching, can you add a link right in the comments so that they can get that information as soon as possible? All right, for people who were not watching our earlier stream, I really want to talk about the tax issue when it came to H&R Block and TurboTax, just to revisit it because I know that it affected a lot of people. If you filed with one of these tax services, what happened? Why didn't you get your check?
So you're asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you. Yes.
Okay. Just one point of clarification. TurboTax is a do-it-yourself software that people would do like online themselves. H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, things of that, those are tax preparation services.
Yes.
And so it's the tax preparation services, to my knowledge, that are having a challenge where the taxpayer can elect to pay the preparation service via a part of their refund check. Mm-hmm. So in the hypothetical example, let's say the refund is $100, and let's say the preparation fees are $50.
Okay.
So what H&R Block will do is they'll take the $100 refund, they'll send it to this what's called a pass-through bank. The pass-through bank will take the money, take $50 and give it to H&R Block for the preparation service fees. And then they'll take the remaining $50 and send that back to the taxpayer at what's called the ultimate bank account. Okay. And it's my understanding that at the onset of the release of these stimulus funds, my understanding is the IRS was accidentally placing the monies in that pass-through account, okay, which the taxpayers don't have access to. However, I believe the IRS is aware of this situation, and I'm sure they're working to rectify it so that the monies can go to the actual taxpayer's account, not the pass-through.
Okay, so then if that is happening to one of our viewers, they just sit still, they wait for the IRS to figure this out, or they reach out to the tax service provider, the H&R Block, to flag them and say, hey, I need my money. Can you put me on a list of people? How does that work?
My recommendation in that scenario is to go to the IRS.gov website, go to the Get Payments portal, and follow the prompts and act as if you were going to try to enter your bank account information and see what happens.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's not something that I can simulate because I don't have that capability.
Right.
But that's what I would recommend. And depending on what type of message you get from the IRS, they may have to wait for the letter. And according to the IRS, within 15 days, they will mail a letter to the last address on file once they've released your payment with some information about the payment. So if they're unsuccessful on the Get Payments portal, my recommendation is get that letter in the mail, which I know is about 2 weeks, but you're not going to be successful calling the IRS, and I don't think you're going to be successful going to H&R Block in this theoretical scenario.
Now, we were talking earlier today about a situation that you were having with your father, and it's one that a lot of you have mentioned to us. Your parent, somebody in your family, may not be on the IRS's books. They might not have their address. They might not have their bank account. What is the situation with your father, and how have you been approaching it?
So my situation with my father is really unique. He filed an income tax return. He and his wife had enough income that raised them above the level of filing requirement. However, their bottom line was a zero, meaning they didn't owe any tax, and they also didn't get a refund. The way the current Get Payments portal is situated, you have to either owe a tax or get a refund in order to pass through it. Now, my father's situation can be also muddied a little bit because he does receive Social Security income, and that's a bucket that IRS is handling in a little bit of a different manner as well. So at this point in time, I'm just checking back on the Get Payments once a day because the IRS is very clear on the site that it only gets updated once a day.
Right.
So there's no reason to check multiple times per day. So in that case, I'm just going to kind of wait it through and see what happens.
Now, I know a lot of people have also been asking about Social Security benefits and if they have to do anything in order to receive their stimulus check. The answer is no. You don't need to do anything on your end. The IRS, the reason that they're taking so much longer to process those is because they had to coordinate with different agencies in order to be able to get that money directly to you. But now that they're working on that, at the beginning of May, they're going to send out those direct deposit payments or those checks. And then if you don't get it at that point, then you have something to gripe about. There is one little hiccup in that situation, though. If you are on SSI, SSDI, and you do have children under 17 and you want to claim an additional $500, that's when you have to go into the non-filer section of the website. Adam did a fantastic job of showing you how to do that earlier in the package. We'll make sure that that's up on our website. But you go into that non-filer section, you register your children under 17, and then through that process, you're able to then get the extra $500 per child. I said that accurately? We got to double check? Exactly. Oh, he can't see me. Yes. Okay, so let me see if there are any more questions. I don't see the Facebook live stream up, but I want to thank you for being here. I want to see if Chairman Mendelson is still here, or Councilmember Mendelson is still here. He is. Okay. I am going to switch you off and then put Chairman Mendelson up. Thank you so much for being with us here. Hi, thank you. Okay. Bye. Okay, I'm hanging up here. Coming over to you, Mr. Mendelson.
Yes.
One moment. Okay. Let's dig. Oh, hello. Let's dig into DC specifics, sir. We're in.
Okay.
Yes. We are in the capital city. We are not treated as a state. What is it going to take at this point to make sure that Stimulus 4 treats DC as a state?
There's been a lot pushed by city leaders and friends in both the Senate and in the House to rectify the underfunding the district got in the last Federal Relief Act. States were guaranteed a minimum of $1.25 billion. The city has always been treated as a state in every funding appropriation bill. We have more coronavirus cases than about 20 states. We have population greater than 2 states and roughly the same as a couple of other states. We are the core of the region. We are working in lockstep with Maryland and Virginia. Our unemployment pays workers in the district, roughly 60% of whom live in Maryland or Virginia. Our hospitals house residents regardless of where they live, and generally 45% of hospital patients are residents of Maryland or Virginia. But our funding is less than half what Maryland or Virginia or any state is guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And those make a difference when we are losing, in terms of tax revenue, $500 million,
Right.
more than that. When we are spending millions, tens of millions of dollars on expenses related to this pandemic. We have a grant program of $25 million to the hospitals. We are buying PPE where we can get it and giving that to the hospitals, to the nursing homes, to other healthcare providers.
Let's talk about nursing homes.
Piling up all kinds of expenses, more than many of the states. We need that kind of relief.
So right now we are still streaming on YouTube. Facebook is down, just for your knowledge. But I want to talk to you about the nursing homes. And actually, let me back up, and healthcare in general. In the previous stimulus bills, there was nothing addressing mental health care, no specific funding that was going to that. Do you know whether that will be represented in Stimulus 4?
I don't know. If we have expenses related to that, separate from the hospital, because we do have a mental health hospital, I expect that we would be able to charge those against federal reimbursement, as all the states can do. But again, we're up against a $500 million ceiling as opposed to $1.25 billion.
It's not a situation any state or the district thought we would ever be in. But how do you think we are managing this as we're in it?
I think the district is managing it well. We're not, I've said before, we're working in sync with Maryland and Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
We've not become a hotspot like the New York City region.
Right.
Of the requirements and the practices that the mayor has put in place are similar to what we're seeing in other jurisdictions like New York or California. I think that the predictions, I think we have realistic predictions of what the surge will be, and I'm hopeful that we'll actually fall short of those predictions because residents of the district have done well at social distancing.
I think one of the big concerns about a surge is what's happening in New York and what's happening in other countries where they do not have enough beds. And if we do reach that point, will we have enough beds to treat our people? And not just beds, but also the ventilators.
The mayor and the health department have factored out the predictions for what that surge will be. They've identified the capacity, the additional capacity that's needed. And my understanding is that we are well on the way toward meeting that capacity.
Okay.
I'm hopeful that we won't need it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, what I saw today from the mayor was she's going to stand up the convention center with 500 beds with a goal of never needing it. But we'll have ones there in case we do.
How do you think we will recover? I've heard Governor Hogan say this. I've heard so many people say this. We need to make sure that healthcare is in check before we worry about the economy. But just the other day, the president rolled out this 3-phase system. And you've got to meet, 14 days of reduced numbers in order to hit the next phase. Can you talk to me about these phases and how you think DC will work through them?
You're breaking up, and I hope I'm not breaking up. My understanding or my impression is that almost every public health care official is saying that the president's plan is unrealistic in terms of the science. We've got to have testing, and we don't have it. And the reason we don't have it is because of the lack of help from the federal government. The CDC has not provided enough supplies, and now we're competing with the states on the open market. to try to get enough supplies in order to do the testing.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to do testing to know how widespread the virus is. More particular than that, if we're going to relax social distancing, then we're going to have to change from the current mitigation strategy to the former containment strategy, which means you identify people who have the virus, you isolate them, you do the contact tracing. That only works if you have the testing to be able to identify people. There's some jurisdictions, but not in the United States, that are testing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are asymptomatic. How do you prevent the spread if you don't identify the folks who have the virus, whether they're symptomatic or not? But right now, we don't have the luxury, which is really not a luxury, to be able to do that testing.
Now, another question that came up a few times is, if we're able to successfully make it through these phases and say, there's a shift, maybe we can open up the economy earlier, does that mean that schools will then open up sooner than anticipated?
Well, the mayor has announced that the school season will end early, several weeks early, and I don't expect that schools will be able to reopen this school year. I think the question really is what happens in the fall. Will we be past this? I think so. I hope so. That's certainly the impression I get from hearing the public health officials. Will we have a second wave? I hope not.
Right.
All that affects whether the schools will open in the fall, the way, whether they will open normally.
Now, what people are dealing with in many homes across the DMV, distance learning. In some places, it's a curse word because parents are like, oh my goodness, I can't handle one more day of distance learning. They're having to refresh on math skills that they didn't have before, science skills that they didn't have before. But talk to me about the broadband infrastructure of DC. Something that I spoke to Representative Sarah Baines about earlier is the infrastructure isn't there in so many places to reach the communities of lower income that may not have had access to the technology in the first place to participate in distance learning. How is DC going to handle increasing the infrastructure, especially when we are pressed for money right now?
Well, the district is no different than elsewhere in that there are pockets within the city where there is not the access to technology. Mm-hmm. However, what the city government has done through our schools, both DCPS and the charter schools, to get technology out to the kids. We've been buying what are called hotspots and making those available to kids so that they can do the distance learning. But I want to say that I think distance learning is a poor substitute for classroom teaching. It's we should do it. But I think kids are falling behind. I think there were some kids with actively engaged parents who can keep up with the lesson plans. Right. But there are a whole lot of people who are not going to keep up with the lesson plans. And we're going to see that educational achievement is going to backslide. Wow. It's a concern. We have an achievement gap in the district between affluent kids and poor kids. Right. It's often spoken of in terms of white kids test well and the black kids. The achievement gap is just huge, and it's not going to close. It's going to, I think, get worse with distance learning. We don't have a choice right now, but we shouldn't think that when things get back to normal, that we don't have significant recovery that we've got to solve. I thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We are going to wrap up the YouTube live version of this, but I guarantee you our conversation is not ending, Councilman. I am going to have you back on the show. When Bruce is back, we can chat with you some more. But thank you to all of you who are watching us on the various platforms that we're streaming. I'm Ariane Till. Phil Mendelson, would you like to represent yourself? Tell them a little goodbye. Oh, he can't hear me. Oh, that was sad. No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, do you want to say goodbye to the people?
Oh, yes. Goodbye. Thank you for having woke up for a second.
I hope everybody has a safe weekend. They have a protected weekend. Everyone has their masks. If you don't, make one. We have plenty of YouTube tutorials. Click the links below. We will see you guys on Monday on the Q&A at 7 p.m. Thank you so much again for being with us. Bye, guys. Oh, and the ding. Saved by the bell. Bye.